Hello. Okay, so today we are going to talk just briefly about straps. First I'm going to talk about how to use straps, and then after that I'll talk a little bit about when using straps is appropriate. So, looking at my handy video that I made. So the straps I'm using in this video are just pretty basic, straightforward, hard bringers. Pronunciation, I swear. They just have a loop on one end and then it's just a strap. So you don't need anything complicated. You can get some pretty heavily built straps, but these are just simple, straightforward straps that you can find almost anywhere. So when we're setting the straps up, this is the first place where some people get confused. Obviously, you're just sticking the end of the strap through the loop, but you can see here that it's pretty easy to get them both going in the same direction, and that is incorrect. We want them to be going in different directions. So that's the first thing you got to do when you set them up. Once I have both of them going in different directions, I can put them on my hand, and if done correctly, you will see that the strap should go between my thumb and my index finger, okay, on both hands. So they should be not going in the same direction, and they should not be going off the pinky side. Okay, what you want is for the strap to be should be laying flat on your palm and going between your thumb and your index finger. So that's the first thing you have to kind of understand. Once you got that set up, then we can approach the bar and get squared away. Now the first thing I'm going to say about approaching the bar is I see a lot of people setting the deadlift up, and what they do is they kind of hunch over the bar, and whether or not they're using the straps, I've seen a lot of this. They kind of hunch over the bar, they get the grip. All you're doing, if you're doing that, is you're pre-fatiguing your low back. All right. So what I recommend, regardless of whether or not you're using straps, is to kneel down in front of the bar. All right. One knee, two knees, doesn't matter. Just kneel down in front of the bar, behind the bar rather. Get your grip situated, and from that point you can pull. So in this example, I'm kind of crouching down behind the bar, my fake bar, since I'm at home and I don't have a barbell. I'm situating the straps and going from there. So what you're going to see in this next image is when I set the bar up, so this is important. We've got our hand, we've got the bar, and we've got the strap. You can set the strap over the bar, but I don't think that's as effective. And this is the reason here for using an overhand grip, is that if the grip fails, what's going to happen is the bar is just going to roll out of the hand. as soon as the thumbs give, it's up to the strength of the fingers, and that's obviously a problem for a lot of us. So if I wrap the strap over the bar, it's not really going to prevent that as much. It's still going to help, but it's not as much help. However, if I wrap it under the bar, it's kind of doing something similar to what using a mixed grip does, okay? Because it's backing the bar up on the other side. So if I wrap it under the bar and then get at least one good wrap around the bar, then it's going to help to support the grip a lot. You still have to hold the bar, obviously. You're still supporting the weight, but it's just going to provide a lot of assistance to your grip. So that's how I tend to do mine. So I'll do the non-dominant hand first, and you want to do that because typically the non-dominant hand has less dexterity, so it just makes sense to help it first. So I'll get it squared away. I want to get that strap on as tight as I possibly can. Got a good grip. At this point you should see that my hand isn't gripping the bar yet, but the strap is around the bar. The next thing that's going to happen is I'm just going to get my grip. After I've established that, and one thing I'll add there, you can see what I did in the video. You can kind of play with where you put the strap, whether some people like to do what I had there between the fingers. I've always preferred to just have it kind of come out the same side. Once I've got that down, I will get it set with my dominant hand, and then I'm ready to go. It's not that complicated. Main things are kneel down, don't pre-fatigue your back before you get going. Non-dominant hand first, strap under the bar I think is better, dominant hand, and then pull. So now we're going to talk quickly about some of the reasons why straps are beneficial, when they're beneficial, rules of engagement with straps. I used a mixed grip for years. I like the mixed grip. It just has a few detractors that we'll talk about. So one thing, if you're going to use a mixed grip, it takes some discipline to switch your grip from one set to the next. And part of the reason for that is everybody that I know has like a preferred side to pull on. So, and it's different from person to person. I know some people that prefer to pull this way, some people prefer to pull that way. And if you have the discipline to switch every other set, or at least frequently, that's better than if you pull the same way all the time. The other thing is, some people have a difficult time keeping their arms straight when they're pulling if they have their palm up. And this can lead to tearing the bicep tendon right off the bone. And if you don't know what happens when you tear the bicep tendon off the bone is it rolls up to your shoulder, and you need to go to the emergency room immediately and get that fixed. It's not something that's going to heal on its own. Don't ice it. Go to the emergency room. So obviously it's not a concern for everybody, but it's just, I think, a little bit safer and simpler for a lot of people to use a palms down grip. Now, obviously, if you are a power lifter, if you're working with power lifters, you need to learn how to use a mixed grip and you need to get good at it. Straps might still be useful on specific occasions. So like if you're getting close to a meet and you're trying to peak but you want to save your grip a little bit, that might be a good time to use straps. And there's some other factors too, but they have their place even for competitive lifters. Same thing with Olympic lifters. You know, if you're peaking or getting close to a meet and you're trying to save your grip a little bit, the strategic use of straps in training might be okay. Now obviously, if we're using straps a lot, the concern is that the grip's going to get weak. So straps are mostly beneficial for people that don't have real big hands like myself. People with larger hands tend to have better grips. That's just mechanics. So if you either have smaller hands or if you're not worried about grip strength, straps can be a good thing. For most lifters, the grip is going to be a limiting factor in how much they can pull. So if my choice is to let that limit my pull or use straps and use more weight, I'm typically going to go with more load. The obvious concern here is that if I rely on the straps to pull heavier loads, that my grip will potentially get weaker, and that is a real thing. So if you're going to use straps on your pulls, there's a couple guidelines you want to go with. One is, I don't use straps on warm-up sets, so I will basically hold the bar for as long as I can. Once I get to a point to where I can't hold the bar for the reps I'm trying to do, at that point I will transition to the straps. But typically on warm-up sets, I don't use them. The other thing is, I only allow straps on pulls, meaning deadlifts, assistance lifts for Olympic lifts, and that's basically it. So absolutely will not use them on farmer's walks. Don't use them on dumbbell rows. Don't even think about using it on the lat pull down. Just don't. Okay. Pulls is the only thing. I've used them whether you're pulling off the floor, in the rack, whatever. I will allow straps, but that's it. So just make sure you're strict with yourself about that. If you're concerned about your grip strength getting weaker because you're using straps, it's not a difficult fix. The poor man's solution to that for a long time has been high rep dumbbell rows. So do 2 to 3 sets, maybe 4, 2 to 3 probably, 2 to 3 times a week of high rep dumbbell rows, 15 to 20 reps with like a 2-0-2-0 tempo or a 3-0-2-0 tempo. That will do a lot to improve your grip strength. It's important that you understand that your grip strength, your grip muscles are in your hand, your grip muscles don't cross your forearm. Okay, no, I'm sorry, your grip muscles don't cross your wrist. So the muscles in our forearm do help us apply our grip strength to certain things. When we're looking at sporting movements, if you're looking at something like tennis or baseball, hockey, but they don't actually help with the grip itself. Those muscles are all in your hand. So when you're looking at improving your grip strength, what you're really looking at is time under tension. So if we're looking specifically at pulls, this is why the dumbbell row can be beneficial, because you're talking about just holding a dumbbell for a long time while you're doing a lot of repetitions. So it can help to bridge that gap. Another good option is to get a good quality pair of grip training devices. Iron Mind is a real good company. I like them. I know a lot of people that have used their products and been real happy with them. They make very good quality things, and they have a good system that's easy to plug into. So let me see here. I'll probably do a video about grip strength specifically sometime, but that's all I'm going to say about that right now. So that's basically it. Straps are simple, they're straightforward, they can really help.